Wow. I didn't even pick that one. All right. Joe Biden trying to sell Americans on the crap sandwich he calls Bidenomics. The key ingredients being soaring inflation that's got families spending $700 more per month than 2 years ago. I won't be able to afford my top surgery, Dana. Living paycheck to paycheck is becoming the new norm. And how about a scoop of surging gas prices? The president and his cronies touting the one-year birthday of his Inflation Reduction Act, a name the big guy regrets since it's more of a bloated climate slush fund.
Mr. President, this is your day. This is your day. Mr. President introduced the first climate bill in the Senate, 1986. Before I was in Congress. You were already here.
This was such an amazing effort to pass one of the great legislative feats of the 21st century, probably of the 20th too.
The Financial Times and the Wall Street Journal initially called my plan Bidenomics. I'm not sure they meant it in a totally complimentary way at the time. But guess what? It's working.
Charlie, he's our president. You know, so a year later, he's kind of like doesn't like the name of it because it really didn't reduce inflation. You know, he wished he'd lied better. He wished he had lied better.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, you have to give him credit where credit is due. At least he's admitting that he's been lying for a year.
Yes.
And it was a lie from the beginning, and they knew it. Mm-hmm. And the only reason they're doing it is because they've seen the polls, and the polling is terrible. And, you know, and I always hate these statistics. Like, you go to the Department of Labor, to the BLS, you get all these. You don't need statistics from a federal department to know that people are paying way more at the grocery store. We're getting close to $4 a gallon of gasoline. And this is all, and of course, why does Joe Biden want to talk about the environment in the first place? Why does he want the Green New Deal in the first place? Which, by the way, let's not forget the Green New Deal, which cratered American energy independence and allowed Vladimir Putin to invade Ukraine. Why is it that they want to talk about the environment? It's because they can't fix anything that actually matters, that people actually care about. So they're going to fix the weather. Mm-hmm. And something tells me they're not going to work at that. That's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Judge, don't you feel bad for the media, people like Jessica Tarloff, who parroted the hilarious lie that it was about taxes, and now their supreme leader says it wasn't that at all? I'd feel pretty bad if I was Jessica Tarloff.
I don't think Jessica feels bad about it, but you know what the amazing part
Finally,
is?
she translates my mood correctly.
Yeah. The amazing part of it is he says himself, I wish I hadn't called it the Inflation Reduction Act. And he knew immediately that it wasn't going to reduce inflation because the CBO came out and said this has nothing to do with inflation. So it wasn't like a mistake. It was an out-and-out lie where it was nothing more than a contribution to green energy and all this other stuff that he wanted to fund. So the question is, why did he lie in the first place? He's lied about everything since he came on the scene, whether it had to do with his grades, whether it had to do with, whether he worked in the coal mines, like, who was it, Neil Kinnock, that British poet, and he had to drop out of a presidential race because he lied. This guy's lied his whole life. He lied when he said he knew nothing about his son's overseas business. The guy is a liar. So given all that, here's the issue. The issue is that 51% of Americans think the economy is getting worse. And the truth is that 34% approve of his handling of the economy. Now, what I did, which I thought was interesting because I hate math, is you take a guy or a family that's making $55,000 a year. Now, we know that $709 a month goes to inflation. So you figure that out for a year, and you know that guy who makes $55,000 a year, that family now only makes $46,000 a year. That's Bidenomics at its best, and that's not a lie.
Yeah, Jessica, it costs $709 more to live the way you lived before Biden was in office. And as a pansexual, I am deeply offended because how can I act in a pansexual manner when I'm out of money?
Do you even know what that would mean?
Yes, fewer pans.
Okay. So I understand why he wants to change what he called it, because he isn't getting the kudos that he deserves for the climate agenda aspect of this. I think it's $380 billion worth of investment. and struggling with younger voters who have not latched onto that and identified it. But the elephant in the room is the actual inflation numbers. And I understand that it's a marriage between policy and what's going on in the Fed, and the interest rates are up. But we started with over 9% inflation at this point last year. Now it's at 3.2%. Before you say it's still too high, grocery prices, I get all of it. I, too, eat and go to the grocery store. But we do have the lowest inflation of the G7 in general. This is a global problem, just much like the issue with energy prices was when Russia invaded Ukraine, which had nothing to do with the Green New Deal, which hasn't even been enacted. But there are these markers out there. Like, if everything is so terrible, for instance, why does Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan all say we're not going to have a recession now when they thought that we would? Why is the unemployment rate so low? Why are we gaining this many jobs? I mean, there are anchors who've been on our own network talking about this, completely flabbergasted live on air when the jobs numbers come in. They say, oh my God, this is incredible what we're seeing, revising up by hundreds of thousands. And
So
then,
you're even surprised when it goes well.
I'm just imitating an anchor that was surprised. I
He's
knew
no
it
longer
was
with us.
happening. This one was. But also, the Inflation Reduction Act has had a lot of tangible results that Republicans are really happy with. Like Tim Scott, for instance, has been bragging about the investment from this company, Redwood Materials, coming to South Carolina. When you asked Redwood Materials why they came, they said the benefits of the Inflation Reduction Act. That's what it did. It gave incentives to companies.
Dana.
Okay.
Dana's starting to squirm.
No, well, a couple things on that. So, it is true that a lot of these companies that are getting money from this big, gigantic bill are deciding to go into red states. Why? Oh, because the cost of living is better. The tax base is better. There are more employees that are there, and that's why. So I think that in a way, a lot of these Democrats are like, shoot, what did we do here? Why doesn't anybody want to come and live in our state? Well, that's the reason why. Joe Biden couldn't call this bill the largest climate giveaway in history because it wouldn't pass the Congress. Hashtag never forget. Senator Joe Manchin is the one who got the bill passed.
Right.
And remember, he twisted himself into knots.
The skinny version.
And he was like, okay, this is really about reducing inflation, and it wasn't. And so don't forget that if he decides to run for president. The other thing is, it's interesting I just learned this the other day, that historically, when you go up to a presidential election, people look backwards on the economy. Like, they remember what it was like when gas prices were at $5 a gallon, right? And they're like, that will never happen again. To me, they for some reason, it's very difficult for a current president to say, no, look, it's getting better. And Goldman Sachs says, in 8 months, we're not going to have a recession. And people are just like, don't hear that for some reason. The last thing I would say is they're trying at the White House to tell people how they should feel rather than dealing with how they already feel. And that's a loser.
Excellent point, Dana.
Thank you.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.